What is up, everyone? My name is Blessed. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about something that's close to my heart, and I think will be close to the hearts of many Black students who have walked through the gates of UCT, wondering whether you belong in a place that might have not originally been built to suit you. So today, we're going to have like an honest conversation about how it is to be Black at UCT. And I am joined by a wonderful guest who's going to walk us through the realities of being Black, financial pressures, social pressures, and etc. So, how are you today?
I'm good, Blessing. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. You know, you're a very busy person, but thank you for making time for us to have this conversation. Okay, so before we get into it, we always try and do like a nice icebreaker just to break the ice before we get into the conversation. Uh-huh. So we're going to play a game.
Ooh.
It's called Myth or Fact. And I have some very strong opinions relating to UCT, and you must just tell us whether it's a myth or a fact and substantiate your answer.
Okay.
And the more I read, the worse they get. Ooh. Okay. But I think first question. UCT is worth the debt in the context of a student.
A fact. That is a fact. I think from my interactions with people around UCT, the connections and networks that I've made, leadership organizations that I've participated in, and as well the contribution I've made at DRES and whatnot, it was all worth it. It's very worth it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
UCT is a welcoming space for Black students.
That's a myth. That's a myth on multiple levels, actually.
Okay.
Well, they try to act like they are a welcoming student, but it is essentially a very eliticist institution.
Okay.
So you are welcome, and suddenly you're not welcome. So
okay, let's pause on that. You will explain to the viewers what you mean you are welcome, and suddenly you are not welcome. Yeah. Okay, cool. Surely it's not better. Anyways, let's not talk. Okay, cool. So if you are really passionate about your degree, financial stress should not affect your grades.
Come on, that's a myth. Nah, that's a myth. It's not possible. There's people that are heavily passionate, but also I think what UCT does, well, as students, we face quite a lot of different struggles. For instance, I could be coming from all the way from a Bizana. I don't really know much about computers. I don't even know. I just know I'm passionate about what I want to do. Yeah. But then maybe with that 1 year cripple me, and then you lose funding, one mistake, you're in debt, or you have to extend. It definitely
affects your academics. Yeah. Okay. You can fully enjoy the university experience when you are financially stressed.
No, you can't. Yeah, no, it's impossible. It's a myth, that one.
Why?
Yeah, because there's always that thing. Every month you always get that soft debt letter that tells you that
a reminder to pay us.
Yes,
the debt,
and you have no means of getting that money anywhere.
And the interest keeps on piling, and it's like 4,000 rand, something like that, right?
So if you owe 200,000, so it's 1% every month. So every month, if you pay 2,000, then you're just paying the interest.
Ish. Yeah. Okay. A bursary or NSFAS should be more than enough. Students just do not budget properly.
Myth. If you check, NSFAS has a bursary cap in terms of accommodations, or like that's 50,000 if you're staying in an on-campus residence.
And there's no 50,000 res here.
Yeah, no. So
it's a myth.
It's a very big myth.
Okay. Last one, and then we'll continue our game as we chat. Student debt is just the price of ambition. It should not stop you from dreaming big.
That's a myth. That's a myth, because financial exclusion is it's a real thing.
It's a real barrier.
You can go home and your dreams are just that, your dreams, and you never get to fulfill your dreams or your full potential at all. So yeah, it is. I mean, people will say go to a cheaper university. That's the most common theme right now.
Yeah, but
that's it's not.
Tertiary education is not cheap.
Yeah, it's not.
It isn't cheap.
It's not.
Okay, I think that qualifies him as someone we can interview in this podcast. So maybe let's start off easy. So just if you can tell us, like, where are you from? why you chose UCT. Yeah.
So I'm Boitumelo Hlalele. From Katlehong. Small nyana, not but so small, Kasi in Johannesburg. So I grew up there in Katlehong. Firstly, I started staying in Cape Town and Khayelitsha, and then went to Katlehong. And that's where I did all my high school life. And then came to UCT because like it was the #1 institution in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I grew up being told that I qualify in the 1% of smartest people in the world. So I was like, why not?
Why not? UCT.
Let me go there in UCT so that I could compete with people who are of the same level as me.
So, coming like from a small Kasi at Katlehong and then coming to like to UCT, what was your first impression about like UCT as a whole and just being in Cape Town?
I think I came knowing like the university is like Eurocentric, which is also why like I had some affinity towards it. But at the same time, something I didn't like about it. So when I came in here, it was still a very volatile moment about your fees must fall era, your roads must fall. So there was that decolonization talk. So when I came here, I had like a whole different mixed myriad of like emotions and perceptions. But when I got to see here and started seeing the parking lots and all these people driving like my dream cars and stuff, I was like, okay, maybe I'm in the right place.
Okay. You know, like normally when you come to like a big institution, there's a lot of culture shocks that you get. And as someone that then comes like from a disadvantaged background, finances can really be like a big barrier. So at what point did you realize like actually finances are something that you have to think about while you're here at UCT or Cape Town in general?
A week already, because I'm telling you, I had res in a week, but I didn't know like so lack of information. I didn't know that at res you get like your food vouchers and food as well. So I was scared to go to
buying
the
food.
PH. I was buying food, and the crazy part is that the food was expensive. So I ran out of the money that I had like on day 4 already of a week. And over the weekend during a week activities, then I heard, it's a bra now, it's free. And then I was told, the food actually here is free. But still, when I got to now into the res system, the catering res system, and checked, we used to get like 25 rand 80 cents, or I think something like that when I first came in here. But also that could only afford you like a burger and chips or a cheap roll.
It's never enough.
Yeah, you don't have anything to drink. So there already have been highlighted that I know this is a place of the haves.
You are just an end.
Yeah.
Okay. So like you've said, you can then like, for example, I'm gonna quote what you said when you said like you will see people driving your dream car and things like that. So we know that like when you come to university, it's very diverse, especially at UCT. And it's very easy to like try and compare yourself to people, because sometimes you just be asking like, why are you even here? Like you've already made it in life. So did you ever feel like amongst like your friendship groups or like your classmates, like did you ever like notice like that disparity, like, oh, they're probably rich and they have money, I don't, and
it's impossible not to notice it. It's very impossible not to notice it. Like the first day you sit in class, and imagine now, let's say for instance you're doing your computer science. I know it's very common in computer science. Everyone starts pulling out a MacBook. First of all, you've never even seen this laptop. You've never even seen this before, and you call it a laptop, and like, no, it's a Mac.
It's a Mac. It's not a laptop.
And everyone has it. People have iPads. You have your own example. You keep trying to note things down. People are recording. They have transcriber softwares and stuff. You're just like them, like you're in a constant state of like culture shock. Like, what is this? Where are we? What are we doing? Like, it's like it feels like you're in a movie of some sort. When you leave class, you leave more confused than
when you came in.
You were confused that someone came in class 2 seconds and they left. You don't know. They tell you, no, these lectures have been uploaded. You don't even know what that means. Like, because you're used to taking notes in class. You don't like, so that also on its own like kind of like sets you back. So you stay in that class for as long as you're getting more and more confused. and Barry is just gonna go and have his tutor give his tutor his notes, and his tutor is gonna use his past notes, and
yeah, life is not fair, guys. Yeah, but then like, did you kind of like have friends that also like were having a similar experience, and you guys could talk about it? Or
yeah, no, I did have friends who were from, so for me, luckily I had friends from both ends of the world. So I had friends who I felt very pressurized and didn't want to be with their friends because they had, like, one of my friends got bought an M4 for their 18th birthday. So
yeah, my friend got a Jeep on our final exam. It's like, no, I was bored, I thought I needed a new car. I'm like,
exactly. So there's that, and then there's the friends that I went to, like, for instance, Kutlwanong with. Like, so I've known them from like back home. So yeah, they were also complaining. Some of them already felt the pressure to extend their degrees because they can see that they are getting left behind. In fact, in all aspects, financially and academically,
from all angles of life.
Yeah, and also you're always sleeping in class because you don't even eat good. You're always eating junk because that's the only thing you can afford, and you can't afford to walk down to rest.
I don't think it's even about junk. You're also stressed, and I think that weighs down on you.
Yeah.
But I guess you're lucky that you got people like where you came with from Kutlwanong. I know for some people it's like you have to make friends from scratch. You have to initiate a conversation because maybe you're the only one from your school that's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we want to get like into the realities of being black at UCT. Do you think UCT is inclusive?
Hey man, I think as a black guy from Katlehong, I don't think so. But at the same time, when you look at the res culture and what the opportunities it opened up for me, someone else would say, oh, but that's inclusive enough. But is it inclusive culturally? No, I don't think so. Institutionally, we are very left behind. People even say, don't come to UCT if you can't afford it. See,
I've been seeing posts about it, and I was a bit conflicted to say, guys, actually don't come.
But that's exclusionary. Like, that means you're excluding a certain group of people who can't come solely based on the fact that they don't have the finances or they can't afford the institution.
So are you saying they should come?
I mean, they should come. These are the spaces that we are supposed to take up. We deserve to be here.
Then how do they then deal with the shortfalls? You'll go to career service and you'll hear that there's opportunities, there's private bursaries and whatnot. But some of these private bursaries, they have very I don't want to use the word crazy requirements. They're very pedantic, like they're very specific.
They're very specific about requirements. You can get in like with your matric results, but then you can't keep up the second year because remember that stage where you're transitioning and your culture shocks and all these other things that you go through, the changes and whatnot. These bursaries don't take those things to account. So the minute you drop your standard,
if they want a 70%, you need a 70. 69, they cut you off.
For instance, I had a bursary that said I got a SAP, and the following year they specified in bold that we are not paying for this course anymore. So that means now coming here to write the SAP, I have to do that on my own.
On your own.
Staying in res and signing in a res for vet accommodation.
It's quite expensive.
Exactly.
It's like what, 400 and something per day, right?
Yeah, 400 to 600.
Yeah, that's really crazy. Yeah. Okay, so then in that context, if you can take us like through like your funding experience. So did your bursary like cover everything that you need, or were there certain shortfalls that you had? And how did that sort of like affect you emotionally, academically, and etc.?
Oh, it was a government bursary. It wasn't even like a private bursary, so it didn't cover like anything. Well, in fact, a year it was kept at 55,000. So
that's not even tuition.
Yeah, at UCT, that's not even tuition. That's the initial fee. That's the initial payment.
Literally, it is.
Yeah. Okay. And then on that 5,000, on that 55,000 as well, you have to go to Van Skyke, get a quotation for books, and then they pay, and you go and collect those books. Sometimes that process can take up to almost a month.
Ish. Wait, are they counting the book money in that 55K, or it's outside that 55K?
Oh no, it is inside that 55K. So it was terrible times. So it is inside that 55K. So essentially, that 55K is all that you have, unless you have another bursary.
A top-up kind of situation.
But also at the time at UCT, I think a lot of people were not allowed to have multiple bursaries.
Yeah, some bursaries specify you can't
have multiple bursaries. And then now you are stuck between a rock and a hard place now. Which one do I drop? And you drop the one that pays the most, which is a private bursary, and then and then the other one can't pay. So it's always like it's a struggle of often like tough choices. That's why I personally, from my second year, I'll be honest, I stopped caring about going to class and my academics and focused more on making money to survive on campus.
Yeah.
Because it also got into a point where now, like, you have the pressure of how you look and how you show up as a person. Like, hey, now you're this
everyone
guy
is like,
with
it's a Met Gala every day, literally at UCT, Met Gala every day.
Yes, you have these 2 skinny jeans and these pink t-shirts, and now like hey, now people can start seeing, this guy, did you even bath yesterday? Now you're starting to think you have this construct that you create in your head, like,
and most of the time it's just in your head. Hey, everyone is going through the same thing. I kid you not, everyone is going through the same thing.
Yeah.
So like at some point while you were going through that, did you ever regret accepting to come to UCT?
No, I never. In my head, like, what made me sleep at night is that I'm in the best institution in the country. I'm competing with kids from outside the country, internationally.
So that
and I'm fighting for my place in the workplace. I'm fighting to differentiate myself from
others.
So that's what like kept me going, and also knowing that the level at which I'm at and the people that I could potentially like befriend, it was like,
it's quite up there.
Yeah, it was motivating. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're looking at it from like your experience, like with the financial struggles and like fitting in. But like, if you look at it like as a whole, would you say that at UCT, financial exclusion or like financial struggle, it's a Black student thing, or does it disproportionately affect Black students?
I mean, I know people. If I say it's a black people thing, there's gonna be some white counterparts who say no, but we are the missing middle. But low key, it is like a black people thing. If you look at protests are part of our culture now. I even get shocked when VCs call in like private security or police to come to campus, because ever since I've known UCT, there's always that protest every year. Yeah. So it's like, it's part of our culture and it's something that we know. We can't even criminalize it because it's legitimate cries. Like people genuinely don't have the money to pay.
So now would you say, because if protests are happening like year in, year out, meaning the institution is aware of the problem. So do you think the institution is trying to solve the problem, or are they sensitized to the protest? Like, oh yeah, it will happen and it'll pass.
Yeah, no. I think they bank on the momentum. See, the first 2 days of the protest are always like,
it's fire.
It's huge, yeah. It's like dramatic, and then after that, it's no longer even a publicity issue. They don't even care about the publicity anymore. And also, the institution low-key itself kind of drives the exclusion, the financial exclusion element itself.
In what way?
I mean, for instance, there's not enough education put in towards telling people what the implications of, like, for instance, extending your degree. It's just like,
is there not?
I mean, maybe in my time there wasn't. Maybe now things have changed, but there wasn't enough to say, if you choose to extend your degree, you're gonna have to pay for some of the year. For instance, if you're on NSFAS, they'll tell you just fill in that form, and
they'll normally say that to students, like, and they'll pay for the extra year.
It's easier. But then now, if I'm not on
a private bursary, it can be quite a struggle.
Yeah, and I'm struggling. So the bursary is willing to keep funding me, but now I'm struggling, and I feel like I need to go to the extended degree program, what is to happen to me then at the end of the day? And then you have these other small little things like societies as well, because you're trying to integrate me in this university, but the integration comes at a cost.
At a cost.
So now it's not fun. Like I grew up like I fancied myself as a talented footballer. When I came to UCT, I had to pay to express my talent.
Especially sports clubs are expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to represent the university, then I must pay 1,200 to represent,
money, Baba.
and then still buy my own kit. And then you see now
okay, that is a bit too much.
It creates an extended burden on top of that, and books are expensive as well.
They are. So maybe if we are on that topic, in Boitumelo's ideal world, what do you think the institution should be doing to ensure that there's inclusivity for all, especially for like disadvantaged Black students?
First of all, stop increasing these raises and rates every year.
Where I stayed, it increased by 7,000. Like, okay.
No, you can't be increasing fees every year, and like they need to come down with that. And also, I think they need to find. So I think one of the biggest issue, it's not even a UCT thing; it's a countrywide thing. Also, it's that we have a very reactionary society. It's that they wait for things to happen so that they could act like they're trying to find a solution, or wait for something to go wrong. People complain.
They try and find the cure. They don't want to prevent.
Yes. So if you know that you have an issue of finances every year in, year out, what is the fundraising committee there for at UCT? And thing is also at UCT, what frustrates you is that they'll tell you, no, the UCT doesn't have money, but you're seeing they're building buildings every now and then.
New buses. I kid you
that
not.
Annoys people.
I kid you not. Every time an email comes out and it's like, oh, we don't have money, so please try and make sure you secure a bursary for the shortfall.
And then they present profits.
Yes, something happens. It's a new bus, but something happens like.
And then on the annual general meetings, they present profits that there's profits. Where are you getting these profits if there's no money at all and there's nothing?
Then how can we solve this situation, hey?
The call for free education is a very legitimate one. First of all, I personally feel like I think I'm grateful for what NSFAS did with those third party companies, because they showed us of the importance of, or maybe the uselessness of why NSFAS shouldn't exist in any case. I genuinely believe NSFAS shouldn't exist. For instance, if you're the government and you already know that this person was on a SASA grant, why is it difficult for you to just pay for this person in terms of now, instead of now putting them on poverty Olympics to try and use Becker buddy campaigns the whole year? Just give the institution the money, and the institutions will tell you how many people need funding, and then you as the government subsidize that funding for that person.
Yeah. So then would also say that this is also like a governance issue.
It is.
So now do you then feel like with financial exclusion and financial struggles and shortfalls, do you feel like the government is the real issue and institutions are powerless? Or
no, they're not powerless.
What are your feelings about it?
No, they're not powerless, because also institutions operate in most of them operate in very capitalistic models. They care more about the profit more than the actual production of talent.
An institution is a business. If you Google the definition.
Exactly. So they take the whole business model overboard as well. They don't consider the socioeconomic status of the people that walk into those gates to come and. So I'm here to empower myself, but at the cost of empowering myself comes at millions. But
it does.
Millions that I don't have.
Yeah.
So I don't think all the stakeholders that are involved, I don't think they are doing enough to kind of like make sure that we have like a proper input. I know some people will tell you about go to colleges, but now if you go and look at the state of those colleges as well, it's not that.
And also I feel like for a college there are some degrees whereby like definitely a college over an institution, but then there are some degrees whereby you actually need to go to university and not a college.
Yeah. And structure.
There are also still finances associated with. It's not like college is free.
I mean, they are cheaper.
Yes,
but not free.
And then also, isn't it harder to get bursaries to fund colleges?
Yeah. So you see, now it goes back to the problem being systematic. So we'd have sitters and these colleges who also can't seem to find their place in job creation or in this, promoting inclusion in terms of like skill set and addressing the shortage of skills.
So in short terms, the government and institutions, they actually need to try and join hands, and because it's a national issue. Okay, maybe this is
they operate in silos. That's also
I think silos is a problem. Maybe this is kind of a controversial question, but so yes, the strike for fees happens every year at almost all institutions in South Africa. But then if you take a look at WITS, I know WITS, somehow they do try to fundraise. Like this one time they fundraised like $1 million to try and
marathons and stuff.
Why do you think that really happens at UCT?
Hey man, it's a very interesting question, because if vets can use a marathon to fundraise and UCT hosts marathons every year and cycle tours every year, that means that there is no will. They don't want to do it. Or if they fundraise, they're just not doing it right, or they're doing it for other reasons. I think they can fundraise. I don't think they don't have the capacity to fundraise. They have it, but they fundraise for the things that they want to fundraise for. Like if they want to build a building, they will definitely fundraise and
and build that building.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we take a 10, if that could be UCT in front of you there, what's one piece of advice you say to them, or like one sentence just to like try and initiate, like, I don't know, encourage them to take initiative in this issue? Because being the best institution in Africa and being among the top leading in globally, you would expect that a situation, as a matter like this, we could fundraise easily.
Yeah. No. One thing I would say, transformation is not just fashionable. It's not just a buzzword. They need to take transformation extremely serious. They need to consider what is happening in the country. They need to find a place where, like, they represent themselves in the next 10 years in the country. But now, if at this rate, it's just going to end up being like black people are going to be excluded in this university, and it's going to go back to how it was.
Cecil Rhodes, those.
It's gonna be only for the elite. So they need to take transformation serious on like across all levels, but mostly in the finances. They need to do much more for black students and, well, the missing middle as well. In terms of like making sure that they actually come here, get those degrees, and go back and give back into the country. So they sow a seed then that could produce ripe fruit.
UCT. Okay, cool. Let's continue our game. Let's take a pause. Let's continue our game. Okay. If you are black at UCT, you must have had someone open that door for you. Myth or fact?
Fact.
Okay, why? Why fact? I wasn't expecting that.
I always tell my friends that I'm a product of affirmative action.
Define affirmative action, because it's contextual.
I don't think I would have been here if I didn't have the extra 500 points that you get for being black and from a disadvantaged school.
I hear you though, but I'm judging you.
I'm listening.
But we listen, we don't judge. It's your opinion. Okay, explain further. But we'll touch on that. Okay, I'm judging you. Low key. High key.
I'm a hard worker, no. Trust me.
But then,
and I belong here.
You belong. Okay.
But some external factors do play a role. But I'll
say the hard work.
No. Staying inside. Staying inside is now new. But coming in now, that might be dependent on other factors.
Okay. Let's before you get cancelled, let's pass on that. Okay. Asking for financial extension is easy and never embarrassing.
No, it's a humiliation ritual. That's a myth. That's a myth. It's extremely embarrassing to every year you constantly have to display how poor you are. And also, and then you have people who judge you because they've seen you at McDonald's and like, why didn't you invest in
People
in
don't
education?
understand.
Because what do you mean I'm going to invest 69 rands for a Big Mac? Or
69 rand, 60K. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Okay. Black tax is a personal problem, not academic.
No, that's definitely a myth. For us, it's a lived experience. Like, for instance, it's embedded in our culture. Even like I know in some cultures, find that in core sector, good like jongegu or some like those kind of words. And newlywed, now we are expecting you like much from you that you can like you're gonna go and give back to the family after you've like now succeeded and stuff. Like you owe it to give back.
You have to give back. Okay, cool. If your English is not strong enough, UCT is probably not the right place for you.
Nah, that's a myth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a myth. You can get by.
You can make it through.
You can make it through. I think if you have the confidence to compensate for it, then things
should be fine.
Yeah, things should be fine.
Because also I feel like mostly it's just accent, and accent doesn't really determine your level of intelligence.
No, that's a common misconception in South Africa, that if you speak nice English, it means you're smart.
You're smart. And most of the time, if you speak nice English, you are not smart.
Yeah, I mean, we are struggling ourselves, but we have multiple degrees.
Okay. Last question. Imposter syndrome is a you problem. If you worked hard to get here, just suck it up and own it.
Hey, blessing. Where do you find these questions?
I had to think about them. I was like, I'm going to provoke you, I'm going to attack you.
Man. Imposter syndrome. No, like, no, I think that's it. It's both ways. I think for this one, I can say it's both ways. Like, so the material conditions of which you find yourself in somehow dictate how you feel and view yourself.
Okay.
And you have no control over that.
So you're saying it's a you problem. Just suck it up.
I mean, yeah, have confidence. Just believe in yourself.
You're not answering the question. But I hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but suck it up. Which camera am I looking? Suck it up.
Suck it up and own it.
Suck it up and own it. You belong here. You are that guy.
So now I want to pivot. So you always hear people saying, if you get a degree from UCT, when you step into the working place, they're going to consider you more than someone from a different institution that I won't mention names. So, as someone who has graduated and you're working now, tell us, is that a myth or a fact? Does it actually make a difference that you graduated from UCT?
It does make a difference in some organizations. There's literally some organizations that specify that you must be from UCT for you to be considered for a post. But UCT is a big brand. It's an international brand. It just by virtue of being at UCT, I believe it does open doors, certain doors that you probably wouldn't dream of reaching if you had not come to UCT. But also there are organizations that don't care about the way you come from. They only care about your skill set and what you can bring to the table. And most companies view people from UCT as critical thinkers. So if you bring that critical thinking and solution orientation by virtue of being from UCT, or that the socializations you've gotten from UCT, then I think being at UCT does put you.
So then would you say like UCT makes sure that when you graduate you're actually ready and competent and have like the skills to go work for that particular company?
It differs degree per degree, and it's also a personal choice. So when you're at UCT, there's so many opportunities that people often neglect and they don't pay attention to, or maybe sometimes it's lack of knowledge. Sometimes it's just like they don't fancy themselves in those places. But for me, I personally feel like a lot of the things and activities that I participated in at UCT they kind of like differentiated me from like all other candidates that in interviews, because like I've been a lot now. I've been a tutor,
been guys,
student governance and whatnot.
Yeah, you've been everywhere.
So being in such positions, already knowing how to engage people of higher power and stakeholders, the psychological confidence and safety to voice out your opinions, ideas in spaces where you often people would feel like, oh no, I'll just tell my manager on the side. So yeah, UCT did help with that as well.
Okay, so last 3 questions or 2 questions. Now I want to ask, so while you're a student and then like you are experiencing shortfalls and etc., how's life after graduating? Does the debt follow you post graduation?
Yeah, they don't give up. They don't give up. The debt definitely does follow you. For some people, it even gets sold out to third parties that will hound you for I don't know, for as long as they can, until you come to the table and negotiate payment settlements. Yeah, but for some, it's not a lot. So, but some people are still trying to pay off their debt to graduate. I have friends who've never seen the graduation hall inside, because they're still owing fees.
A significant amount,
yeah, and a huge one. So the debt does follow you, but it doesn't mean you can't continue with your life as well. Yeah, so you can use your proof of qualification to get certain jobs. Certain jobs don't mind. They understand the dynamics.
Okay.
Some even have relationships with UCT. They would now ask for a transcript from UCT.
Yes.
And have access to such information they are privy to if they want to. And then you get hired. Then you can develop yourself, but that's not always the case. Sometimes your application is not considered just because you don't have your transcript and you don't have your certification and all those things. So
it differs, but definitely it's not the end of the world.
Nah, it definitely isn't end of the world. Yeah.
Okay. So then it keeps on accumulating interests, or did they pause at some point?
Hey, I don't know how true is this, but there was that it only starts accumulating interest 3 years after your graduation.
Okay, because surely they must give you a grace. I know with any debt they give you a grace to find a job.
But some people say, nah, that's a myth. That's a myth. It just keeps going.
We don't know. It just keeps going. Okay, so closing questions. Now, when you're a black student, you came to UCT. Yes, you had your struggles, but then you thrived and graduated. You're now working, also getting more degrees. Guys, smart person, this one. So now, if you are to look at the camera and, I don't know, give a pep talk to a young black child from your hometown or from your kasi who wants to come to UCT, and they maybe they doubt themselves. They feel like UCT is too big for them. They feel like black people don't belong at UCT. Give them a pep talk.
No, we belong here.
Yeah.
This institution, these types of institutions, we belong here. Should never feel like you don't belong at anywhere. Wherever you find yourself, you must make sure that you utilize that space, you take up space. See, the same socialization that they gave to students in Model C schools should be the same that they give students in these rural schools and Kokasi and stuff, and they tell them that you deserve to be there. But also at the same time, know your skills, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Set yourself apart from like the rest of the people. If there's opportunities to learn new skills, always learn new skills. Be very curious. Take ownership of your life. Explore, man. This is South Africa. Like for some people, school is not even the solution and stuff. Like work on your talents if you have any talents, but school is important though. Take up extra classes if you need to take up extra classes. If you know you you learn stuff like very difficult, just make sure you take an extra time of fun and try and like help yourself essentially, because hey man, the unemployment landscape is bad. And it often leads to unintended consequences. People end up being depressed, and some people addicted to alcohol and other substances.
Mental health is one of the like leading causes of death. It's a major concern. They've just recently published a paper.
Yeah.
So
imagine that now, and also most of the time you don't have solutions because you are like information. There's not a lot of information like available, or even if there is, we don't have the right messengers for that information. So people end up seeing the only way out is
that is true.
Is the permanent one.
But yeah, definitely, as you've heard it, you belong. So, I mean, we've been chatting about how it is being a black student at UCT, and we've been touching on like different things, which might sound like we're saying negative things about UCT. Not really. We're just talking about like a lived experience. But because we have to do it, let's mention some positives. What do you say some of the positive things that actually UCT has given to you, or it gives to a student, that you still hold dear to this day?
The degree. The degrees.
Just the degree.
Nah, not the degree. Like we have wonderful people like yourselves, man. We are doing like exceptional work. The people that have been around here at UCT, yo. Like I couldn't believe I could be inspired by people my age and people younger than me. So like the people are like top one of the UCT
so
experience.
The community, still holding to the community.
No, like all my friends are like educated now.
Nice.
I know my friends have been to the UK, have been working in the UK,
Nice.
they've been working in Canada, I have friends working in China, South Korea and stuff. And that's all because of UCT. I don't think if I hadn't come to UCT, I would have had friends like
those
that.
encounters.
I'm proud to say my friend is a CASA, my friend is a candidate attorney because of UCT. I mean, you can get that elsewhere, anywhere else as well, but also the fact that I know like a lawyer or an attorney from UCT, it's a big win.
It's a big win.
So it's always, the people are just like really incredible, man. From lecturers to the custodial staff. Man, those ladies parented me, man.
Literally our second parents.
Those ladies parented
They're really
me.
nice.
To the Jamie drivers, everyone is just like nice. They're always like super cool, and it's always vibes with people. Like they really like, they have good hearts. So definitely the people, top one. The degree has to come at number 2, because I mean, without the degree, I wouldn't be working for a multi-international company myself today. So they did that. And also self-development. Self-development was one of the most important things.
Character sharpening.
Hey, the character was cooked. Hey. And somewhat transformation from the social aspect. I've learned to appreciate differences in people. I've learned to
one thing
appreciate
UCT does,
who they are and what they like and whatnot. So I've learned to defer judgment and as well. So
So I think overall, all in all, UCT is a wonderful place. And it definitely opens a lot of opportunities. There are lots of opportunities for you to grab here.
There's plenty. That's why I was an employee, and I came from a student to becoming a staff member at UCT.
Literally,
the culture and the opportunities.
There's a lot. I just think we might still have a bit of a way to travel, just to try and ensure that from the get-go, when we are accepting students, they are supported. Financially. I think that is just one area whereby we really need to try, and because if you look at it now, from first year you're already in debt.
First day after registration you're already
in debt. So I think that's just one area where we have to try and improve. But I would say overall, all in all, definitely black students belong at UCT and you can do amazing things.
Yeah, no, that definitely. I mean, there's so many student jobs that you can do at UCT as well. I don't
Yeah,
think
it has quite a
people
lot.
can realize, but also they do help in terms of networking, maintaining
They
that
do.
work and school relationship, like
Yeah.
balance as well.
Yeah.
Because for me, I didn't have that at all. Like I focused on making the money more than school.
You gotta secure the bag, guys.
Yeah, because I felt the pressure to say, if I don't make a smaller nyana payment to show my intent that I still want to be here, then when I apply for grace period the next year, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So I constantly try to work so that I could
They can
put in
see
some
that-
sense and see,
yes, that is really true.
this guy is trying. So then now that allows me, or it offers me leeway to be able to register for the following year.
Yeah, you know, look at you.
And you're increasing more debt, by the way. The more you register.
I don't say that.
The more
Don't
registered,
be
the more debt you
negative.
get.
I mean, look at you now, top dog. Guys,
Yay.
top G.
Yeah,
Okay.
that scholarship came in handy later
Yeah.
on the year. Oh, there's that too, guys. Also, people get scholarships.
You
that
do,
pay for
yeah, they do
everything.
try.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for being a wonderful guest. As you can see, it's not that bad being a black student at UCT, guys. It could be what it's not bad here. It's not that bad. But I think this goes out to every black student out there who might feel like they don't belong. Just because maybe you might have to like put in a little bit more effort,
Push
like
boundaries.
go the extra mile, deal with a bit of difficulty. But I would say definitely you do belong at UCT. And the fact that you are still here submitting assignments, writing those tests, studying, just shows like how much potential that you have. And we hope that this episode inspires you to just, yeah, we've been through all the like financial shortfalls, currently
Yeah,
going
sure.
through one.
All of
But
us.
I mean, we're still here doing amazing things and the future is definitely bright. Until next time, thank you.
Cheers.